Welcome to another Faith Horizons podcast. Today I'm here with Brian Hughes with the Kansas City Dream Center and also the Kansas City, City Serve KC. So we're going to address two different organizations today. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
And can you just give us a brief synopsis of what Kansas City Dream Center is, and then it seemed like Kansas City Dream Center was started first, and then what is City Serve KC, and then how are they working together?
Yeah, so the Kansas City Dream Center is a part of the Dream Center network. The original Dream Center started in LA, and the Lord called me to start the Dream Center here in Kansas City back in 2018.
Yeah.
We just want to find a need and fill it. We're a faith-based, community outreach-focused nonprofit. Yeah.
So what is the demographics, or how does that work what does Kansas City Dream Center serve? Who do they serve?
Yeah, great question. The Lord led us to this neighborhood in Kansas City, Kansas, more than 5 years ago, and we showed up and we just found ourselves at the corner 8th and Barnett, and on Barnett Avenue. I'm like, wait a minute, the founder of the Dream Center is Matthew and Tommy Barnett.
Wow.
So I felt like that was the Lord leading us to the right place, and we've been living on that neighborhood ever since. So it's probably about 90% Latino. I speak Spanish. Praise God that He's gifted me with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So I can connect with people. I'm not fluent, don't get me wrong, but I can converse with people on a deeper level other than just, hey, do you want this food or this clothing, that type of deal. So
that's great. And so what is City Serve Kansas City?
Yeah, City Serve KC, it was started last year out of the Send when the Send came to Arrowhead. City Serve International brought in 10 truckloads of Amazon goods in kind.
Wow.
We sorted it all out. I have 25 years in logistics and transportation.
Oh, that's incredible.
So I was like, okay, Lord, is this what you want me to do? Because I wasn't busy enough, right?
Yeah, right.
But I just saw the need, so City Serve and Dream Center partner well together. They're different but the same in many ways. And so, we started the City Serve KC last year. And side note here, kind of funny note, this is what God does. God has a sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
I filed for our nonprofit status on September 15th, which was my mother-in-law's birthday, coincidentally, if you believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
And it was actually approved on September 26th, which is my wife's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that the nonprofit got approved by the IRS in 11 days, like, come on, Lord. Like,
wow.
Government, no offense to anyone that works in government, of course, but, government doesn't work that fast, but we know who does.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So you're down on 8th and Barnett for the Kansas City Dream Center, right?
Yeah, that's where our Adopt-A-Block neighborhood is. That's where we've been living on that neighborhood for over 5 years. But the Dream Center is located inside of a La Fe and Jesus Cristo Church,
okay,
which is at 15th and Central.
Okay, cool. And that is definitely directly in the Latino district.
Yep, great tacos across the street.
Did you know that Kansas City is Kansas City is the taco capital of the country?
I didn't know that. Kansas
City is the taco capital of the country. They wrote an entire article on it because we have about 25% population of the Kansas City, Kansas population is Latino. 25% is Latino.
Yeah, that's awesome. They have caffeine crawls where you go to different coffee shops. Kansas City, Kansas has a taco crawl.
They do.
Yes, I have not been on it yet, though.
That's great. That's so good. So Kansas City Dream Center basically does food, and then they also provide community resources, right?
Yeah, we always point people towards the resources, regardless if we're able to fill those needs or not.
Okay.
We'll definitely, we're focused on people's futures and long-term sustainability, and we, point people in the right direction of the resources, whether or not we provide it. So, we provide food, clothing. We have an after-school program we just started.
Oh, wow.
But City Serve comes alongside in a different way, in that we receive items from Costco, Amazon, and Walmart. They're overstocked and unsold items.
Wow.
We bring them to a warehouse, we sort them out, then we hand them out to the local church, so the local church can use those items to share the gospel and to fill people's physical needs.
Wow, and that really does, just thinking about the business side of this, like, so then Amazon and Costco and, the other companies that are donating this product, they can write it off because it's a donation.
Exactly, yes. It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win. Wow, don't let it go to waste,
Amen. I'm all about stewarding the Lord's resources well, whether it's donor dollars or shirts that are donated to us or things like that. I hate to see waste. So
that's awesome. Okay, so just give us a little bit of the backstory about how you even got into this, Kansas City Dream Center. Can you just give us kind of some of your backstory, and then because what you said you started in 2017.
2018. Yeah.
Okay.
I always had a heart for helping people on a deeper level than just kind of putting a Band-Aid on the problem sometimes, which is so often what's done. And before I even knew what the Dream Center was, I was like, Lord, if you'd give me an old school or old hotel, I would fix some of the true problems of homelessness. That was my prayer for years and years before I even knew what the LA Dream Center was. And so when I found out what the LA Dream Center was, I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do, because they're providing with the physical needs, food, clothing, things like that, beds and all that. But then they're coming alongside with the gospel message, and it's all about Jesus and sharing with people, who he is and what he's done in our lives. And it's just I knew it was meant to be.
So you said that you came out of the logistics department. So like how long were you working in logistics?
Yeah, I did logistics and transportation management for about 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old. Sorry. God's got me where he wants me.
Gee. So how does logistics and like transportation? So it seems like Kansas City Dream Center has a lot to do with logistics, and obviously City Serve KC has a lot to do with logistics, the coming and going of goods and services, right?
Exactly, yeah. If you know anything about inventory and stuff, you want to make sure the first goods in or the first expired goods go out first and things like that. But it's just really about, organizing people. And, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have done something like this, but I just started serving at the church, at Life Mission Church in Olathe, as an usher and greeter, and that got me used to talking to strangers. And then next thing I know, I'm doing logistics, so I'm used to seeing processes and groupings and people. So I was like the lead usher for a while, and that got me used to leading people in a faith-based environment. And then I just, again, like I said, just wanted to stop seeing a Band-Aid put on some of these problems and try to fix some of the root causes of homelessness and food insecurity.
Oh, wow, in the Kansas City area. Well, cool. So what is the mission? Like, if you were to, give a mission to Kansas City Dream Center and then City Serve KC, what would you consider those?
Yeah, the mission of the Kansas City Dream Center is that we are committed to building intentional, long-lasting relationships that will transform lives and create new beginnings. So we want to see some of those generational curses broken.
Oh, absolutely.
And we want to feed someone, but we also want to teach them to fish. So the City Dream Center is all about, filling those physical, immediate needs, but also looking at the long-term transformation. And then City Serve KC is all about equipping and empowering the local church to share the gospel.
Oh, wow.
So, a church has their outreach. They go knock on doors. They invite people to church, but to put something tangibly in their hands. Or everyone has a neighbor, right? If you really know your neighbor, like I'm pretty sure the Bible talks about a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Then you're finding out the needs of your neighbor. And so if they have a fire, God forbid, or they're getting ready to lose their kid because they can't provide a bed or a dresser, or they just need clothing, it's a single mother, or a woman leaving a domestic violence situation, that's where the church or the pod, the point of distribution, can come alongside that person in need, reach out to City Serve and say, hey, we need a bed or a dresser or clothing.
Wow.
And fill those needs, but also, of course, come alongside spiritually as well.
You could have as a tagline for that, something beside the Bible, or something besides, salvation. Yeah. So you're bringing something else,
Exactly.
And because Jesus, think about it, Jesus, when he was, preaching to all these people on the hill, he's like, feed the population. And they're like, well, what do you mean by feed the population? I thought you were the preacher. No, feed them.
Feed my sheep.
Yeah, feed them. If you don't feed them, they're not going to listen. If we don't help them out in other ways, they won't listen. Or they have their priority list is obviously to provide for their family's needs.
Right.
first, and then before they even hear the gospel.
Yeah, that's such a great point, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, they have a need before they need the gospel. I mean, because in order for us to more effectively share the gospel, we have to first address the need.
Yeah, they need to be filled up before we fill them up even more. Get them to overflow. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the hope, the future hopes of the Kansas City Dream Center in Kansas City, and then City Serve KC? I know we're kind of trying to mix these two together.
Yeah, for the Dream Center, like I said, I'm focused on trying to help fix some of the true problems of homelessness and food insecurity. So if the Lord allows us, we would love to have some type of housing, where we can get people off the street.
Yeah.
The LA Dream Center's discipleship or housing program is so impactful that judges in LA will say, you want to go to the Dream Center or you want to go to jail?
Oh, wow.
And that's impactful, and that shows you how effective their program is. And I shared that with the district attorney in Wyandotte County, and I'm going to quote him right here. I remember his words exactly. I shared with him what we want to do, what they do in LA, and he said, "I'm all in. What's next?"
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah, he wasn't just like, "Oh, that sounds good. Let me know how it goes." He said, "I'm all in. What's next?" I said, "Well, whenever we are provided with a house, if someone wants to donate a house to us or something like that, then we can get people off the street and truly start transforming some lives on a deeper level." So that's the Dream Center's goal, is to have some type of housing in the future. We'd also love to be able to take food out to what they call food deserts, or I guess they're calling it food apartheid. But we have a food pantry. It's open twice a week, and then we do a big food giveaway the first Saturday of every month. But what about those people that can't get to us?
Right.
So they live in a food desert. They might only have one car, but in their family, and the husband might be working, so the wife's stuck at home. So how can we provide food for those people that still need it? Because I want to see we waste so much food as Americans, right? And I want to see this food not get wasted and get into the hands of people that need it. So how can we do that? So in the future, if we had some type of food delivery truck or something where
distribution
we could go,
method,
yeah. So that would be that's my long-term goals for the Dream Center.
What about City Serve KC? I mean, it seems like City Serve KC is kind of still getting its footing. I know we have a warehouse story here coming up.
Yeah.
But
how much time do we have? It's a long story.
We have plenty of time.
City Serve KC, we're almost a year old.
Yeah.
Like I said, September 15th was when we were given our nonprofit status, or it's effective September 15th. And so we're almost a year old, but we just love to see more churches come on board and fill people's needs. Because again, we don't want to waste this stuff. This stuff is coming to us in pallets. We'll get a truckload. Again, my logistics is coming into play here.
Yeah.
So there's 24 pallets on a trailer, and so that's a big quantity of stuff to be able to give out to people, and people need that stuff. But you're also going to be able to share the gospel better because you're filling their needs, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And so we want more pods, which is points of distribution, more churches to come on board so we can really grow this and reach more people. So there's a small administrative fee that we charge per pallet. One pallet of goods might be able to reach 100 to 200 people.
Yeah.
It might cost the church, $200 to $300.
To have it delivered.
Administrative fee to pick it up from us.
Yeah.
But that retail value of that pallet is $2,000 to $3,000.
Wow.
So we know it's not about the dollar signs, but that just shows you, again, the efficacy of the program and the model here. We bring it in, it's a tax write-off to Amazon or Walmart, and then we hand it out to the local church with a small administration fee. But then the biggest thing is they're able to share the gospel. So we're equipping and empowering them to share the gospel by filling people's physical needs,
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's clothing, food. I mean, I've seen some of these Amazon, they have everything, technology, some type of.
Yeah. We need people to sort the Amazon stuff as well. We'll talk about that, here in a couple minutes, but, I have to say it, but I mean, if you can buy it on Amazon, you might see it in those boxes.
That's what I'm saying.
And that could be a scary thing. So we say that you have to, when we have volunteers come in to sort that stuff, we say that we have to have sanctified sorters to make sure that, those dark, evil Halloween things or the risque type of clothing stuff, are thrown away.
So, wow. That's cool. You never knew that this was going to be a problem until you had it, right?
Exactly. But it's a problem I'm willing to take on because I get to do this for my job and never take it for granted.
So just give us this story about the warehouse story. I just think that this is so interesting, and it comes into your logistics, because from what I just overheard before we started, you haven't had to pay for warehouse yet, as far as
praise God.
as far as City Serve KC is, but you're using quite a bit of warehouse space, right? Yeah. So how has this happened?
Yeah, it's amazing what the Lord does. And so we a local radio station had a food drive, and 2 people from the community showed up. And these twins are now serving with us, and they've been serving us for the last 3 years, but they work in logistics as well. So they have one of the girls that works for a company has warehouses and things like that. So, warehouses are going up everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But from what I hear, they're at 95% capacity.
Wow.
So the availability is less than it was for sure a year ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
But anyway, so we got a warehouse space in April when the Send came to town, and we brought in those 10 truckloads, and this company provided us warehouse space for free, and then they leased it out. So we had to move. They're like, hey, we love what you do, but we need to move you. So they moved us from Liberty to Riverside.
And I'm sure they provided all the shipping and all that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we know that's not true. But again, what God does, right? One of our volunteers had a tractor trailer.
Chimney Christmas.
How amazing is that? So we moved warehouses to Riverside. We're there a couple months. They're like, hey, we still love what you do, but we're leasing this space out. We got to move you again.
Gee.
So they moved us to KCK to another warehouse.
This is not house moving. This is like
yeah. If you don't know anything about logistics, come spend a day with me. I'll show you what it looks like. But and not everything is perfectly palletized and wrapped and all that.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's loose and
yeah.
It took a lot of labor. So so we moved to KCK. And then after a few months, they're like, hey, we love what you do, but we just have no warehouse space left. I reached out to a friend, George, who knows some people here in town, and he found a guy that has warehouse space again.
Wow.
So that final move from KCK to Olathe took us 18 hours.
Oh, my
with
gosh.
like 6 or 7 people. And so,
And how many truckloads was that?
Too many. I think it was like 6 semi-loads.
Oh, my gosh.
And so, again, that's another reason why we don't want to hoard the stuff and sit on it. We need to hand it out to the local churches so they can hand it out to the people in need. So when we move warehouses again before the end of the year, anyways, the Lord.
You have another warehouse you're going to soon, right? And you're moving again.
We're moving back to KCK, which is great. Kansas City, Kansas, where the Dream Center is. It'll be a lot closer to City Serve
that's
Warehouse.
Awesome.
Again, another nonprofit. Or this time it's a nonprofit, but again, another company is providing warehouse space for us.
Wow.
Hopefully for free. We'll pray about that.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's crazy. So you've had 4 moves to date, or 4 locations to date, and then you're about ready to have a 5th. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So you've had 3 moves, now going on 4.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It takes a lot of labor, but I'd rather hand the stuff out to the local churches. So again, I think I've hit on it twice, and I'll say it again too. We need more pods, more churches to come alongside. So, if there's a community in need, a church in a higher need area, this is perfect for you. If there's a church, in a more affluent area, hey, you know what? You can help too. Just because people in your neighborhood might not need these physical needs, you could sponsor a truckload.
That's true.
A $5,000 donation would bring the goods from the warehouse, Amazon or Costco, to us. And then allow us to bless those churches that are actually in the areas of need.
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. So you're saying that some of the larger, more affluent churches could partner with a more inner city, more localized church that has a greater need of this type,
Yep.
and they can financially help bring in the finances for that.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Because I mean, there's a lot of churches that have the capacity to maybe donate $5,000 to sponsor a truckload.
yeah,
And I love what you said. You partner with these other churches. So yeah, it's kind of like they're sponsoring them. But how cool would it be for them to work alongside,
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah.
and make it happen so that we can get
Yeah.
these goods in kind to the people in this
Right.
area of need.
yeah, that's totally true. I mean, they both are serving, different populations, and
Right.
certain obviously delivering the message of Jesus, but they have a different way of bringing it in.
Yeah, we need to, again, it goes back to the mission of City Serve. We want to equip and empower
Yeah,
the local church to share the gospel.
that's so cool. All right, I just wanted to, before we get started on this next segment, just wanted to make note of the fact that we have Bill. Bill is the producer on this, Bill Otterness, and he's in the room over here. Say something, Bill.
Yeah, I'm way in the back.
You're gonna have to talk louder than that.
Yeah, this is me in the back,
In the back,
pointing at the clock periodically.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All right. Anyway, so can you just tell us a few of the needs that we have that Kansas City Dream Center and City Serve KC have, and then some of the volunteer opportunities or what is needed?
Yeah, so all the volunteer opportunities are actually located on the website, kcdreamcenter.org.
You made it easy.
And cityservekc.org.
Yeah.
You can go on there. For City Serve, we need volunteers to sort items in our warehouse. And then as we prepare to move our warehouse, we need to pack those things up and wrap them and get them ready to move. But yes, there's always things to do in a warehouse if you know anything about logistics.
Wow.
And so, yeah, people to sort items and then, help load up customers or pods when they come pick up things as well. So those opportunities are generally on Wednesdays and Fridays. We can make ourselves available on Saturdays as well.
Wow.
So for City Serve, we need, a handful of things. If I can narrow it down to 3, I would say volunteers to sort. We need people to share the word about what we do. And we need more churches to get involved. So we need more pods, more points of distribution so we can get the goods out to people in need.
Oh, that's great. So how many people does it take to run like Kansas City Dream Center and then the City Serve? Casey, how many people does this take?
We're figuring it out with City Serve, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right now there's all two of us that are doing it, but we're blessed with a handful of volunteers. With Dream Center, we have 2 full-time and 3 part-time employees.
Wow.
But we have 140 volunteers every month. So
That's incredible.
we all know everyone gets busy. But if you can, these are outreaches that we do consistently. So the neighbors know we're always going to be there. Our friends they're living on the streets, the people living in homeless camps, they know we're going to be there consistently as well. And so all of our outreaches are consistent. So the first, the third, and the last Saturday of every month,
Wow.
we have opportunities. And then our food pantry and clothing closet is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5 for volunteers as well.
Okay, that's great. And so then you said the City Serve KC needs more people to help with logistics if they have time to volunteer.
Yeah, to sort
Make
goods.
time to volunteer.
Yeah, exactly. Just put it on your calendar. That's what I was saying. Everyone gets busy.
Yeah.
But if you commit, 3 hours a month, it's not really that much, right? In the big scope of things. So, but yeah, City Serve is sorting goods in kind and then sharing with other churches and faith-based nonprofits about what we do, so we can grow the organization.
That's great. So, just about contact information, you had already stated the web addresses of this at cityservekc.org, and then is it KC
Dream Center?
Dreamcenter.org, and I'll have those in the show notes, so if anybody wants to click on them, it'll be easy to do. And then is there any contact that is there any way, and then you said that you already talked about how they could volunteer because they just go online and they'll find the volunteer opportunities for them, right?
Yeah, for both organizations, you can just go to the website and sign up to volunteer.
Yeah.
We get a notification, then we'll contact you about the details and things like that. And like you said, for the website, that's the best way to get a hold of us.
Yes.
There's a contact us button on the website, on both websites. And then there's a donate button, of course, as well. So we are an IRS approved public charity.
Yeah.
So to the extent allowed by law, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say all donations are taxable. Depends on your each individual donor's tax situation.
Yeah.
But they're potentially tax deductible.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so, like, if a big church wants to get involved, they could just contact you and say, we have 25 people that want to volunteer or stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, definitely. We can use 1 or 2 at a time, or
Yeah.
we can use a team of 10 or 20
Okay.
to volunteer at either organization. On the Dream Center's website, there's a form for group volunteers because we do receive more groups.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I would say that, some of these larger churches would want to partner as groups. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I've seen that.
again, going back to the larger churches, that's a great way for them to see what we have and kind of catch the vision behind it. When we talk about CityServe being how we partner with Amazon and other retailers, to get their overstocked and unsold items, but that doesn't fully explain it. You got to kind of see it, and so that's a great opportunity for any church, for that matter, to come alongside and catch the vision and share with people about what we do. But then, like you said, going back to partnering, having some of these larger, more affluent churches partner with churches that are, more in need in the heart of the city. So.
And I was wondering, because it seems like you can get a two for $1 if you partner with a local church, because if they pay for, like you said, a $5,000 delivery to that local church, then also that blesses the Dream Center with finances too, right?
Yeah, we live on donations. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all.
Right.
And I'm transparent. That's who I am.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what the Lord wants us to be.
Absolutely.
So we live on donations, and
Yeah.
I haven't had to rely on and live on donations before until I left my corporate logistics job and started this. But the Lord provides, and it's just so amazing to see how He provides and have organizations partner with us.
Yeah.
But we need more monthly donors.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways they can get plugged in, so they can give a one-time donation. They could be a monthly donor. Or we actually have this thing on the website for the Dream Center where they can round up their purchases. So you register a card, and every time you use that card at any retailer, it rounds up to the next dollar.
Wow.
And then at the end of the month, that accumulated change, if you will, is donated to the Dream Center.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to do anything. You make your purchases like you normally do with your card. You just have to register your card, and at the end of the month, it automatically makes that donation. It's called a round-up donation.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, not everyone can afford, $50 or $100 or $200 a month, but can you afford your spare change, right? Or give up that coffee? And I say that, carefully, because I have a lot of caffeine in my bloodstream all the time. So I should say that I have too much blood in my caffeine stream, maybe, but
take advantage of that donated coffee. I'm sure there's plenty of it.
I've seen a little bit. Can't lie.
Yeah. All right. Well, God bless, and really great to meet you a little bit better, Brian Hughes, and we'll get that out. We'll get this out there and let people know more about what you're doing.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. Like I said, if people would just contact us and to get plugged in, it's just kcdreamcenter.org or cityservekc.org.
God bless.